Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Ari, and today we're going to have some more stories about our toxic life. But before we start, it would be so much appreciated if you would subscribe to my channel, like the video, if you enjoy it, and maybe leave a comment down below. These simple clicks would mean a lot to the future of this channel and really reward the effort that I put in every day. And now without further ado, let's go. Today's first story. In this story, a babysitter, known through church, was caught being intimate with an older son of the family she worked for, while babysitting their well-behaved kids. Her boyfriend discovered the situation and informed the family. They were furious, and the babysitter left in tears. The family had a hidden camera, and they explained that they trusted the boyfriend but not their son, John. The boyfriend decided to end his relationship with the unfaithful girlfriend. Now let's get into the story. My girlfriend, 22, had a job babysitting for this one. Really nice family. We both knew from church. They were wealthy, so spending time in their house wasn't really a chore. To make things even better, their younger kids were really well behaved and went to sleep easily. She had me, 25, come over a few times while she was babysitting and the kids were in bed. We never did the hokey pokey or anything, although it felt like we could have gotten away with it. This family had an older son named Sean. He was 18, but they didn't usually have him babysit because he was always up to something or at hockey practice. One time while she was babysitting, my girlfriend randomly stopped responding to my texts. I thought something was seriously wrong. She already told me the kids were asleep, but I guessed there was a small chance one of them woke up again. I waited an hour and didn't hear anything. I decided to drive over there to check it out. At first, nothing appeared to be wrong. No flashing police lights or anything scary like that. I walked up the path to the front door and noticed an odd movement through the window. I cupped my hands around my face to see into the living room. Through a tiny gap in the blinds, I was shocked to see John having close with my girlfriend. I turned away and tried to open the front door, but it was locked. Just then, a car pulled into the driveway in a hurry. It barely stopped before the door opened and John's dad jumped out. I put my hands up instinctually and said, "I just got here." John's dad paid me no mind at all. He just rushed to the front door and unlocked it in a hurry. He barged in, followed by John's mom asking what the hell they thought. I thought they were doing. My girlfriend screamed and John yelled. His dad told him to get out of the house. He was not allowed to have unprotected premarital meet in their home with his younger siblings asleep upstairs. He asked them how terrible it would have been if the kids came downstairs and found them having close. He looked to my girlfriend, who had only managed to get her underwear back on, and told her she was supposed to be the responsible adult in this situation, and she failed miserably. It was then that my girlfriend noticed I was standing in the doorway. She burst into tears and put the rest of her clothes on. She apologized sincerely to John's dad, mom and me before she got in her car and left. I realized I had no place there now that my cheating girlfriend left the scene. Just as I was about to leave, John's mom followed me outside, closing the front door behind her to muffle the yelling between John and his dad. She apologized to me for what I was going through. She reminded me that the end of one relationship doesn't have to be the end of the world. I thanked her and asked how they knew what was happening at the house. She said they had a hidden camera in the living room that connected to their cell phones. They'd see me every time I was at their house. But since they knew I was a well-behaved man, they didn't mind me hanging out with my girlfriend. They actually felt their kids were safer when I was there too. I told my parents everything that happened. I lived on my own at this point, but I needed their support. They told me I didn't need to ever speak to my girlfriend again. She proved herself unfit to be a wife. Just then she called me. She told me she would never make this mistake again. I believed her, but that didn't mean I wanted her back. I asked her why she did it and what happened. She just told me that after John came home, he started talking with her and after a while asked point blank if she wanted to have close. She gave in, not really thinking too hard about it. It hurt to hear that. How could she just not think about it? She gave in to her primal instincts. With little resistance, assuming she wouldn't get caught. It was so unfair to me, her loving boyfriend. I was loyal. To her, even. When a woman from my job came on to me. Well, that phone call was all I needed to officially decide I wasn't going to stay with her anymore. I told her on the same phone call. All right, well, it was nice knowing you, but our time together has come to an end. I wish you the best and hung up. It wasn't very long until she tried to call me again. Several times, but I never answered. John's parents had told my ex's parents and the church that they caught her having intimate in their house while she was supposed to be babysitting. I didn't keep up with my ex since, but heard she moved out of town.
Today's second story. In this story, a married couple for 19 years with 2 children recently discovered his wife's infidelity, which included both emotional and physical affairs with a Spanish-speaking employee. Despite efforts to reconcile, the wife continued to deny and lie about the affair, causing distress for the husband. Eventually, after threats of divorce and intensive counseling, the wife admitted to a 15-month-long affair with their employee. Now let's get into the story. My wife is my first and only love. We've been together 25 years and married for 19. We have 2 incredible children, 11 and 13 years old. I'm a highly educated, financially successful 44-year-old male. I'm fit, social, secure, and able to retire. Unfortunately, my career success came with working 80-plus-hour weeks and extensive travel away from home over the past 20 years. This clearly contributed to reasons for the affair. Since Discovery Day 10 weeks ago, I've been devastated, personally and depressed. For the first time in my life, I still cry every day and can't focus on work. I've been neglecting my companies. In the past, I never discussed my feelings with anyone. However, I joined a men's support group, which has been excellent. I've been reading about this topic extensively and have a few close friends that I can lean on. I'm hitting the gym. We also began marriage counseling. My wayward wife has fear, cheerful, avoidant attachment, and to my dismay, admires the level of independent traits of a dismissive, avoidant. Her love language is quality time, acts of service, and words of affirmation. I failed to provide her with those 3 things, but the affair partner did. The affair partner is a Spanish-speaking employee of ours. He worked closely with the wayward wife for a year before it became a full emotional affair. Early in the emotional affair, I discovered that the wayward wife had a deep friendship with the affair partner, a recently married employee that gave her adventure, etc. The affair partner and I are opposites, and I forced her to draw a new line that was strictly professional. I was naive after her attempt to reset and break up with the affair partner. I recently learned the emotional affair restarted about a month later and did progress into a physical affair. Over the next 5 months, she had an STI scare that led to them fighting and breaking up. She slowly withdrew from him, trying to end the emotional affair relationship while keeping it as only professional. After about 18 total months, the emotional affair was fully over in late 2021. I don't believe that she ever wanted to leave me. She just wanted the extra excitement, and it became an unwanted attraction for her. I began discovering the details in June 2022. Since then, I terminated the affair partner's employment and believe the wayward wife now has 0 contact. I want to reconcile with my wife and already have at a superficial level so that our household is calm and increasingly affectionate. We are more lovingly intimate recently than we have been in many years. However, it seems fake because of her continual denial and lying about the events. I have always relied on trust as the foundation for a healthy relationship in business and other areas of my life. I have 0 tolerance for people that I can't trust. I understand that people make mistakes. I could have been a better husband and recently wrote her a long apology letter to have a clean slate. Of course, she has not apologized to me because she claims innocence and remains with the position that I need to work on myself. I have the ability to forgive what happened in the past. However, I struggle with the ongoing secret in lying. I'm convinced that she knows she made a mistake and wants to be with me. However, she has too much shame and desire to protect herself to admit what happened. She likely justifies it to herself because she ended the affair and has done a bunch of deep self-therapy where she feels that she is mentally healthy now. To me, it seems she will be lying about this to me for the rest of our lives. After continually stonewalling the conversation about the affair and evidence that I've uncovered, she adamantly told me at 7 weeks past Discovery Day that she would never talk about the past again. For the first time in my life, I literally screamed through the phone. It was devastating to hear because learning about what happened was key for my recovery. I'm having difficulty giving up the investigation and continuing to learn about the affair, which has helped me understand it better, mostly to protect myself in the future. Since then, I stopped asking her questions, which makes me bitter. But I am building a superficially happy relationship with her again. Due to this building resentment, I'm beginning to have strong desires to revenge cheat. For now, I'm channeling this energy back to my relationship with my wayward wife and setting up dates and weekend getaways. Logically, I know it's important for me to remain faithful, and I'm sure that I will. Is there any hope that we'll be happy for the long term? Without my wayward wife confessing and showing remorse, any encouragement or advice is welcome. Update: her final confession at 14 weeks revealed more lies at today's discovery session. Week 16. Getting to a confession took threats of divorce, intensive marriage counseling, and an emotional outburst where I called the affair partner's wife in front of her. The result? My soon-to-be ex-wife admitted to having sex 2 to 3 times per week with our employee, our full-time handyman, for 15 months from February 2021 to May 2022. Supposedly, this was almost all in the back seat of her SUV. She didn't end it with him until after my initial discovery day of finding our notebook, which was only one day before I took her and our family on a $25,000 trip to Paris. She broke up with the affair partner after Paris because I discovered her notebook. She said that it was winding down anyway and was happy that it was over. She had tried to end it since it began, but didn't have the courage. It wasn't happy or healthy for her, but she was strangely stuck in needing his emotional approval. It was obvious from the notebook that her affair was tumultuous for 2 years. Initially, she had a 2-year emotional affair beginning February 2019, before the 15-month sexual affair began. I don't understand her relationship with the affair partner at all. She claimed limerence and was clear that she had contemplated breaking up with him for most of the 15 months. It was a constant drama. However, I was totally oblivious. She was having sex with me as well. We led a normal married life of sex 1 to 3 times per week, dates and vacations, etc. She had lived 2 lives. I think about it like she chose a second husband, but just never told me. She claimed no other affairs she wanted to reconcile. Of course. Upon confession, I immediately called and met with the affair partner's wife based on the advice received here on Reddit. The affair partner's wife was devastated, but so happy to know. She is planning to divorce and fight his immigration process. I am supporting her financially, including for her to have counseling. The soon-to-be ex-wife is an excellent liar who has passed a polygraph. I'd warn anyone that is thinking about using a polygraph as a truth tool that it can easily backfire if she's a good liar. She had used that against me during the 14 weeks of her denial. Now that I know and the lack of true remorse during the 16 weeks I'm ready to divorce, she is extremely sorry now and wants us to stay together. We're signed up for an affair recovery course. I'll use this to try to heal and forgive as we have 2 incredible children to raise together. She really isn't capable of loving the way that I loved her. Had some childhood trauma and maybe some type of disorder. Tonight I got a beach condo to separate for the first time in our 20+ years. During the daytime, we're raising our kids and acting normal. It'll take time to separate our lives and get a divorce because we're financially complicated. I really don't know how to be alone yet. I'm truly broken without having my best friend any longer. Upon learning the truth today through a 3-hour marriage counseling session, it is really strange how good I feel considering this mess. I'm looking forward to the next chapter of my life. I couldn't have this positive feeling if I was considering to reconcile. Our kids started counseling as well. The affair partner spent significant time at our house and knew our children well, gave them many gifts, etc. We're all no contact, and I'm trying to remove triggers from his presence in our lives. Thank you to this community for your support. I appreciate any advice or encouragement.